Yeah, girl, I heard the news. No, it ain't no surprise with you. You find another guy for a little while and you cut him loose. You must think that I want around too. You think I don't know how you do what you do, but it's Friday night, I'm feeling alright, so I guess I'll give you one more try. You're the apple that Adam should've left alone, and I'm the fool that's gonna take you home. Another night, another mistake, another morning full of heartbreak. Well, I don't wanna think about it now. These drinks and your lips got my head in the clouds. I ain't coming down anytime soon, so keep leaning on in. Baby, you're my ultimate sin. With all the guys in here tonight, why am I the one who made you decide that I'm the only one that you've been missing? Like I'm the only one who has your attention. Well, I know just what to expect, just a late night good time in my bed. When the morning comes and the sun seeps in, just like that you're gone with a wind. Cause you're the apple that Adam should've left alone, and I'm the fool that's gonna take you home. Another night, another mistake, another morning full of heartbreak. Well, I don't wanna think about it now. These drinks and your lips got my head in the clouds. I ain't coming down anytime soon, so keep leaning on in. Baby, you're my ultimate sin.
And hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. What you've just watched is actually some clips from the brand new movie, Rockabye. And with us today, we have, let's see if I get this correct, guys, Frankie Reeves. He is the director and writer. Am I
Yes,
correct
sir.
on that?
That's me. That's correct.
Great. And Marty Davis. Marty is an actor, producer, and Renaissance man of all trades, as I understand.
All around, go get the pizza guy. That's
There
me.
you go. And also with us, as always, Miss Ginger Steele.
Hello. Yeah, it's great that we got some more local Columbus filmmakers in today, continuing our talks about filmmaking here in Columbus. And oh, by the way, you guys like our new background? Isn't it cool? You like that?
Great.
Pretty cool, huh? So we'll start with you, Frankie.
Mm-hmm.
When did Rockabye start filming here
We
in
started
Columbus?
last summer.
Last summer?
Yep, we started, I think, May of last year.
Mhm.
And the movie takes place during the summer, so, you know,
Mhm.
we wanted it, you know, with the hot weather and everything like that.
Mhm.
Of course, we didn't get to finish the whole movie last year, so we had to pick it up back this year also. So,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we had like just a week or so to shoot.
Yeah.
And we got that completed, and we're kind of excited about it.
Yeah, and you wrote the script.
I
for
did.
that?
Yep. I started February right before right before Valentine's Day. So like February the 12th, 17.
2017.
Yeah, 2017. It actually took me a year to write.
Really?
So yeah, I just wanted to try to really write something that I truly was proud of, and I wrote it and then I rewrote and rewrote. So I went through
Changed
about 10
everything.
rewrites.
Yeah. Mhm.
But I'm pretty proud of it. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Is it based
10.
on?
I'm just thinking some late nights, huh?
yes,
Yeah,
sir,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
sir. Yeah, long days. Yeah, I was actually down in. I was my real career. I'm a freelance cameraman for sports and entertainment. So
Oh, okay.
I was working down in Biloxi on a boxing show,
Oh.
and I was working with a lot of filmmakers down there.
Yeah.
And some of the guys, they were just telling me about some of the movies they were working on, and I had kind of had the idea for a long time about this movie, and I got down there and got with those guys and got really inspired about it. So I came home. I drove home from Biloxi that night and started writing the next day. I mean,
Wow.
it was just something
That's
that
pretty cool.
I haven't stopped thinking about since then.
Since then.
So it's been a constant thought in my
Right.
mind, and it feels nice to see that we're close
Right.
to completion as far as
Yeah.
production.
So is the story based on personal experience, or is it just something that How did it come about?
Yeah, I think if you talk to most people, they
Yeah.
have an idea. Most people have
Right.
a movie idea, right?
Right.
And so I was one of those, and like I said, I just carried it in I wrote down just a few little things about
Yeah.
it. But then I finally just started using a platform to really write the script,
Mm-hmm.
and that really got me thinking about everything. But I guess personally, I was in the military at one time.
Okay.
So I got out, went to school in Savannah, Georgia at SCAD. So I got a degree from there. And I just started working right after that in freelance and things like that.
Yeah.
So, and I just kind of fell into the sports part of it. But,
see.
the movie is just kind of really just based upon some characters I just kind of came up with while I was in the military. And then, with 9/11 happening,
Right.
a lot of just everyday people joined the military. They got out and they did things they never done before. And that's kind of this couple. They kind of go through that. It's kind of the backstory of the movie. So
That's great. And also too, Columbus having Fort Benning,
Yeah.
that military
Yeah.
background.
Yeah, it's definitely.
There's a lot of families here that are military
Yeah.
families.
And that's
they can really relate to a story.
They can,
like
and
that.
it relates to me too,
Yes,
because
uh-huh.
I think I was the only person in my family that joined the military. I did
Right.
that in like 1980 when
Yeah.
the economy wasn't very good, and there wasn't a lot of jobs right after high school.
Yeah.
So I took off and joined the
Yeah.
military. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
The movie's kind of based on loosely about a couple that's living in Savannah. 9/11 happens, and they kind of separate. He goes and joins the military. He comes back. His girlfriend takes off and leaves him and everything because they kind of just fell apart.
Yeah.
But she winds up pregnant with his child. She didn't really know what to do. Low income family, so she gave up the boy for adoption. And he comes back. He gets custody, and they move to like our area here. In Columbus.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
So where do I come in?
Yeah.
Where do I? Well,
Next question.
yeah. Frankie approached me. Part of the story. Part of the story is the lead in the movie is a singer that goes to Nashville, tries to make it. She doesn't make it, so she comes back. So he has her singing at a nightclub called the Rockabye, and
okay.
I play the club owner. That he's one of those guys that's nice to know, but not a nice guy.
Yeah.
Stony Miles. He's one of those guys.
I've been associated with plenty of those through my life.
I was actually in the business for 26 years, Tim. So it was interesting.
Yeah.
Well, when I read the script, I said, "Sure, let me read the script." And when I read it, what Frankie's not saying that he's too modest to say is, this is a timeless story.
Right.
It could be about any couple during any war, anywhere in the world. It could happen to them. So I said, I'm all in. If whatever you need me to do, I'll never say that again. So this has been an absolute labor of love.
Yeah.
And Tim, I have to brag on your host here for a moment, if you
Sure,
don't mind.
No.
See, here's the thing that Ginger won't say. We've had, this has been all done locally. Just about all of the actors are from here. All of the funding is from here. All of the crew is from here. So it has been a true shoestring budget. And there's been nights where I've messaged Ginger at 1 o'clock in the morning and went, I'm just starting to do this. What do I do? Well, go to this website, print this paper out, get them to sign this. Then you got to make sure you have that. So she is a wealth of knowledge, not only on projects she's working on, but she's willing to help you on your project too. Phenomenal. It's been awesome.
Maybe we should have hired her along at the very beginning. I think it would have made your job a lot easier.
Yes, I could have just,
Yeah.
I could have been Stony Miles and ate crackers.
Oh my goodness. Well, what was the most difficult thing when you were filming? What problems did you run into that you
probably-
can suggest? You
yeah.
can, tell the Columbus filmmakers out there, okay, this is what you should know. Something.
Well,
what are
here's
the
a
some
valuable
of the
lesson
things?
we
Yes.
really learned very well.
Uh-huh.
Try and get the funding up front.
Yes.
That is a very valuable lesson. And another very valuable lesson is when you're soliciting for help on your movie and the crew is donating their time, it's hard to get a large crew that donates their time.
Well, the
So-
first day of shooting now, we had a huge crew.
Very true.
Yeah.
We did. I mean, we had like 15 or 20 people helping us.
Right.
And then it seemed like every day after that, we'd lose 3 or 4 people.
Right.
So it was down to basically Marty and I and a few other people.
And the dedicated
Yeah.
ones.
But I have a great DP, Colin
Right.
Instead, out
Yeah.
of Atlanta. He's phenomenal. I mean, he's worked on some nice projects before.
Cool.
He was very valuable.
How
to
did
the
you connect
production.
with him?
I think it was through Facebook. Actually, one of the actors. It was her boyfriend. And that's what it
Oh,
was. Yeah.
okay.
And she said
Yeah.
he's a camera guy, and I thought, oh, he's probably got
Yeah.
his little home camera and things
Yeah.
like that. But no, he came in and really stepped up our
Yeah.
production.
Isn't
and-
that neat
and
how things work like
it,
that?
It really
Yeah.
is. I mean, it's all about networking. And,
Yeah.
and when it comes down to it, I mean, we didn't know really hardly anyone in the business when we
Right.
first started this project, and so we just didn't want to make any major mistakes. And
Right.
I think that can cause a lot of problems. And that's we talked about lengthily about just keeping this thing. We know we had a small budget, so the production wasn't going to be something where we needed special effects, planes
Right,
flying
right,
across or anything
right.
like that. It's more like the movie. I wanted it to convey more like a Stand By Me feel. That movie,
Yeah.
with just simple life, and we have like three young boys and coming of age, around 15 years old, and one of them gets in some trouble, and we
Yeah.
knew that we wasn't going to have a big budget and that we needed some good talent. And
How did you find your child actors? And I know you think that it would be an easy thing to do, but it's a extensive process when you hire minors because there's Georgia labor laws.
Right.
exactly.
And did you run into any problems doing that?
we did. Our child actors that they all had their most of them had their moms, on set.
Right,
So
yeah.
that
Yeah.
relieved a lot of the problems right there. But we have Clayton Royal Johnson. He's our main actor. He's been on the show I Am Frankie on Nickelodeon and
okay.
some shows like that. And then he comes from Orlando. And then we had, most of our actors we try to use local, and we
Yeah.
used the Columbus Springer, some of those guys down
Yeah.
there. Some of those, and we just tried to, make it all work where it would just be, just simple.
Right.
Because it's a big process. If you
It
think about
is.
the whole thing, it's when you just say I want to make a movie, that's easy to
Yeah,
say.
say, yeah.
But to make it happen,
Oh,
it takes a lot of people.
yeah.
It takes a whole
Yeah.
army of people.
Yeah,
It really
I
does.
think I mentioned
Yeah,
that before. A lot
that's
of
pretty
moving
much
parts.
like this. I got up one day, I said, I want to do a podcast.
Yeah.
And you know what I found out about 2 months in? That the content is a whole lot more important than how good you can make it look.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Right.
And there's just lessons you're going to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well-
unfortunately, the hard way. But
Well,
you know,
and that's what drew me to the project. It's been a long time since I'm a movie buff. My sister's actually a movie. She used to write for a movie critic, and there's just so many movies out there that are fast-paced and CGI and special effects. This is a true old-fashioned sit down, watch the story unfold movie. It does have that Stand By Me feel. I'm very fortunate to be friends with Randy Couture. I sent him the script. He read it. He said, "I think you got a chance here." So it's we've had nothing but positive impact about the story. It's great.
do you find out that the I guess the movie public, the people that go see this film, that these days the attention span of more people, that they can't do anything but watch the CGI and the Avengers and that type thing. It seems to be the generation that's coming up, they can't actually sit down and just watch a great story.
Well, everything comes back in circles, and we hoping this starts it.
There you go. That sounds
So,
good.
so we hope the movie brings the circle back.
There you
I think
go.
maybe having those young actors in it might draw that generation to watch it. They're like, oh, I know that guy.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
on Nickelodeon.
Hopefully it
whatever."
will, yeah. And even writing the movie, I wanted to have so many people relate to it.
Yeah.
So I think we hit that. I mean, we actually watched part of the edited some of the clips this morning, and
So is
I think
is it finished?
So,
Is it, are
well,
they
we just
done
starting. We just starting the
Oh, okay.
editing process. So I mean, we hope by the end of July we'll have our real rough cut edit done, and
And
then.
then a release date will be maybe later this year.
Marty knows exactly the date.
Yeah.
We are looking at November the 7th, talking
Day after my
about
birthday.
Is it?
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
talking about local and everyone supporting. We were actually allowed to film out at the Infantry Museum, and we have worked with them, and we're actually going to do the premiere at the National Infantry
Oh.
Museum. We have
Oh.
contracted with them, so it's actually going to be a premiere here.
Oh.
And if it's possible, we do need to say a couple of thank yous if we can.
Sure,
Tim.
go ahead.
Okay, number one, Ginger, she sent us crew members, paperwork, all kinds of stuff. She's been invaluable. Thank you, sincerely.
welcome.
I've known Ginger for about 15, 20 years. Her and her husband, Mike, I used to be in the radio business too. So we've got to say thank you to David Hart and WRBL. There was a young lady working here named Jesslyn Adams that is now in Birmingham. She did 4 stories on us that got us really out in the public eye through the news. We went up and had a great meeting with Sheriff Jolly. You know how shy he is of a camera. So he's actually in the movie, and we got his support. Dave Nally at Double M Marketing. Brian Waters. If I tried to name everybody, we would have 30 minutes of names.
There you go.
Yeah.
But
I
so
agree.
many local businesses donated their location. They donated food. They donated people.
They'll be in the credits of the movie.
They will
Oh,
be in
yeah,
the
yeah,
credits.
there's gonna be a lot of
It's-
credits
It's
in there.
actually been. It's actually been a little overwhelming, the support that we've
Yeah.
gotten. People that,
That's great.
Team 7 Racing, Matt Goose, those guys, David Phillips, the list truly does go on and on of people that
Great.
showed up to be an actor and ended up moving lights for the day. It's
awesome.
been awesome. It really has.
It's really good. We got a strange guest back here.
I don't know. We have people walk in the door all the
Yes.
time.
My goodness.
When you leave the door open,
I don't know
yeah.
who this
when you leave the door
character
open, a
is.
dirt bag is liable to walk in. You see how it works?
I was getting dinner out of the dumpster out back, and then I saw your truck around here. I was like, man, I got to come in and say hey to him.
Well, you knew I'd have something to eat, didn't you?
Who is this guy?
He is in the movie. He is definitely in the movie.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So,
Hi.
he's
I don't know
he's
you.
a rock star in his mind anyway.
Yeah. He's a hand model.
The camera's that way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, y'all have fun.
Yes. Aside
Oh,
from
my
being
goodness.
dirtbag, that's actually Alan, who's one of our
Alan
hosts here too. we don't have strange people walking off the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, now he's
Yeah.
helped us out a lot also. I mean, he had a restaurant bar, and we got to shoot upstairs and downstairs, and I mean,
Yeah.
just everyone in town, just about anyone that Marty reached out to help
Yeah,
us,
yeah,
they
yeah.
have. So we really appreciate that. I mean, it's
Yeah.
when you're trying to do something this large,
Uh-huh.
it takes a lot of people, and everyone's come through. I mean, I'll tell you, it's been pretty amazing for us. We're very
That's great.
blessed.
I honestly think the backstory of the movie is going to be just as good as the movie. If we got time, Tim, I just want to tell you one quick
Sure.
one.
All the time in
Okay,
the world.
look,
Go ahead.
I work with a guy. I work at Chattahoochee Harley Davidson. I work with a guy that we wanted to use his bike. He was in the Army. He said, sure, go ahead. So I put out on Facebook, we needed an old school canvas duffel bag. Well, a friend of mine that I've had for over 20 years, Melissa, said, my daughter has one, but it belongs to her father. I don't know if she'll let you use it. Let me ask. Well, it turns out her father has a shadow box in the National Infantry Museum. He's a true American badass, David Sally. She said, I would be honored. So Frankie wrote it in the movie so that we could pay homage to David Sally in the movie with his duffel bag. Well, when I mentioned his name, the gentleman at the shop goes, was he in Iraq in 2005, 2006? I said, yeah, that's when he passed away. That's when he got killed over there. He goes, I was in the same unit with him.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So a guy from Illinois that works at Chattahoochee Harley Davidson that we were using his motorcycle, a friend of mine that I've had for over 20 years, her daughter lets us use a duffel bag. His father is in the National Infantry Museum, and they were in the same unit at the same time.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're all connected in some kind of way, and I
It-
think with movies,
have a lot
it
of
brings
stories
it to
like that.
another
It's
level.
this has been just
Yeah.
one fabulous moment after the
And
other.
you know, with the networking and of course these days, you know, a lot of people don't use it as it should, but we're blessed with social media, and it is just so incredible the contacts people make all across the globe.
Really is, yeah.
And it's,
Alan, you wanna join us?
Well, speaking of Alan, that's another small world. I've known Alan since 1992 or 1993.
you got to come over.
Oh,
a
you
little
didn't
bit.
quite make it
Gotta
in
come
now.
over a little bit. There you go.
There you go.
There
Well,
he
You
is.
should
That's-
grab a chair.
Yeah, Frankie and I heard that he opened a restaurant. I said, well, he's a buddy of mine. Let's go support him. So we went to the restaurant and eat, and we're eating one night, and we were
That'd
like,
be good right
Yeah, we're
there.
gonna get
come on in here,
Right
Alan.
next to him.
So we were in the restaurant eating. Yeah, well, what's been going on? Well, Frankie's a writer director, and I'm now a producer, and we're looking. I'll swap with him.
Okay.
We're looking for a place to film a bar scene and a club scene and
And a big fight scene.
And a big fight scene. And Alan goes, how about here?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was the perfect place to do it. Ask for better people to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was. We went out for dinner one night and got a location.
Yeah.
So it's been like that the whole time. I
It
mean,
really
it's been
has.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, I actually, Alan had came by earlier, and we were having a talk as far as people that are coming to Columbus and may have a little shoestring budget that want to shoot a movie, that the people in Columbus network, and they just have so many spots and so many places to shoot, and you know, in reality, you may have a couple of $1 million for a big blockbuster Hollywood film, but you know, they can come to Columbus and make the same thing for, you know, a pittance.
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly.
it's just amazing to me.
Yeah.
It's we are a friendly town. And I'm glad of it. Frankie and I, without the generosity of people, and they're so modest, they're not going to say anything. Ginger turns red every time I mention her name, but I'm telling you, 1:00 in the morning phone calls. She never said, "Call me tomorrow." It was more like, "I've got caller ID and I know what do you need."
I know. I worked some strange hours, and
Yeah.
she popped up the other night on my phone, and I said, "What in the world are you doing up this late?" So now I know.
Yeah.
Exactly. She's always working.
Yeah.
Anybody else got anything to say?
Alan?
One of the things I did want to encourage is for the movie Rockabye, we are looking for local music, and it doesn't matter what year that comes from, but there are some places in the movies, in the Rockabye movie, that we're going to need music, and we would really like to use local artists' stuff to be able to fill those places, because it's going to be real important with the movie industry coming in for us to be able to prove that we can provide these things, that people are in their basements and in their closets and stuff making this great music and making these great videos and making all this great stuff right here in our own town. So please send it in to me or Frankie Reeves or Marty Davis. Just send it to us. You can find us on Facebook at Facebook.
Alan, any
there's
certain
where you
genre
find
of music you're looking for?
Yeah, we're really looking for just all kind of different,
Yeah, all different
stuff.
types. I
you
mean,
know,
it
so.
could be heavy metal to country to.
Ambient.
I know we need a great rendition of "Amazing Grace." One of our main characters gets. We have a funeral for him, I should say, and yeah, we definitely need that. But we got some people that are helping us a lot. John Boy's Story. You know, a lot of people know him. He lives out, I think, in Smith Station. He's actually in the movie when our little fight scene breaks out, and he's singing a couple of songs in there. So he's really helped us out a lot too. But I think his song "Ultimate Sin" is definitely in the movie, and he's a great kid. I mean, he's out there hustling every day, promoting his music. So, like I said, when we talked about this movie at the very beginning, we wanted to use as many local people as we could, reach out to the community, because a lot of these people, they just need a little recognition. They just need a little break, and hopefully we can provide that for some of them.
Great. That's one of the reasons we started actually the show, is we wanted to showcase the people in the Columbus area, and so people could see why it's a great place to live.
Yeah.
What makes it tick.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Filmmakers
talent
of
here.
Columbus.
Yeah, there's so much talent here. There really are, and I guess they better get ready, because I think a lot of movies are going to be made here.
I agree. I
Yeah.
truly do.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, before we go, I know that tomorrow night we have
Yeah.
something special going on. Would you like to go ahead
Yeah,
and
the
plug that?
Columbus Film Networking mixer is going to be at Circa. There's only a few tickets left. So if you would like to come out and meet some other filmmakers.
I think we're going to be there, right?
Yeah,
We are going to be there. We're actually going to have a whole entourage tomorrow.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
going to be. We're coming in force.
I mean, I think we've already rented
Yeah.
every limo in town to get us
Did
down
you
there. I
really?
think so.
Yeah.
I,
All
I
two
could
of
be
them.
wrong. Yeah, I could be wrong, but we may have.
I need a ride. Can I ride in the limo?
Come on.
Yeah.
It'll look a lot like a pickup truck, but it's a
Yeah.
limo to me.
The van in the movie. We could use the van in the movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The creeper van.
I'll be pulling up my old pickup truck, but hey, I'm
Oh,
happy.
okay.
You know.
I like
Yeah.
your hat, by the way, Tim. That's a cool
Maybe
hat.
wash,
looking
we'll,
sharp
we'll
today,
wash
man.
my wife's
Yeah.
car. It looks a little
Looking
better.
sharp.
Okay.
Nice studio also.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us, really.
He's lying.
It's a pleasure for us.
Hey, you're more than welcome anytime.
Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Tim, I think what
Yeah.
you're doing is great.
Yeah.
There needs to be more people out there pushing the people.
Well, I appreciate that.
I think it does great.
I told Alan the really the biggest reason that I started when I started was just kind of an artistic release. It's just you go to a 9-to-5 job all week, and you just have to have some way to release that artistic spirit.
Yeah.
And I think maybe you guys pretty much felt the same way. I mean, you got your 9-to-5, then you do your side hustle with the movie, and it's just a labor of love.
Well, I've actually lived a pretty interesting life. So I've never sat still. I always keep going. And when Frankie came to me with the movie, I was kind of at a stagnant place, in a stalemate, and I went, yes, yes.
Well, it was cool too on Marty's story of things that this was something that he wanted to pursue whenever he was younger, and then all of a sudden 35 years later the opportunity actually comes around. But Marty has a movie past that's actually kind of surprising. So
Yeah.
I was actually slated to break in. I had a manager out of New York. I was getting ready to break into the movies really big as a bodyguard type, specialty guy, almost like a Danny Trejo or something. And I went paralyzed for 11 months, so it kind of put it on hold. So 35 years later, it presents itself so that I get to do it.
Well, maybe that'll happen
Yeah.
with me. That's like me. I lost my hearing and pretty much had to, quit radio and go into this. So maybe it'll turn out for me. Same way.
Wonderful.
In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and get out of here and let these gentlemen and ladies enjoy the remainder of their weekend. Anything anybody would like to say? We're going to just
Thanks, guys, for
direct
coming
to everyone.
Hey, I'd just like to say thank you. It's been a pleasure in here. It's a little cold in here, but besides that, we're okay. But thank you for
it's
having
better
us.
than being hot. Believe me, I've been both
There you
ways.
go.
So.
in. Thank you, Tim.
Hey, and I've got to apologize. If the sound wasn't the best today, I should have changed out cables, but I didn't do it. So
You're so modest all the time. You're so humble and modest. It's beautiful, ladies.
no, actually, that's true when you hear the playback. But
I mean, the background makes us look
Man.
like we're in
That
a
is
studio, a real
We are in a real
professional studio.
we are. That's what I tell people.
I got you, Tim.
Hey, and I'll say this: if you're watching this podcast and you're outside the Columbus area, we're inviting you now. Please come to Columbus, Georgia. We have a lot of talented people and a lot of great places to film. And You know, the doors are open, our arms are open. You know, please come.
Perfect.
There you go. Hey, everyone have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Tim.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.